Hey guys, Justin and Stephanie here with S&J Talk Broadway. We're here for a special video. Basically, we're going to be reviewing the newly anticipated release of In the Heights.
In the Heights. I want to see the whole world through her eyes.
There's something on your shirt.
Yo!
This is me.
Let's go!
In the Heights, rated PG-13.
In the Heights, if you don't know, composed and originally starred the career of Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda, the Tony Award-winning Best Musical In the Heights is now a motion picture. Directed by the mind behind Crazy Rich Asians, John M. Chu, In the Heights is about a bodega owner who has mixed feelings about closing his store and retiring to the Dominican Republic after inheriting his grandmother's fortune. Along the way, we meet other members of the community of Washington Heights. The film stars such talents as Anthony Ramos, Stephanie Beatrice, Melissa Barrera, Corey Hawkins, and of course, Lin-Manuel Miranda. The film releases June 11th to movie theaters everywhere, and if you're a HBO Max subscriber, you can watch on the app on release day as well. We, of course, were invited to a press screening back in April, and we've been saying our spicy thoughts since then. Stephanie, before we get started, what was your first exposure to In the Heights?
Well, first I want to say we, of course, were invited. That's right. Of course we were invited to get a pre-screen.
Big wigs.
Exactly, right? So In the Heights, my first exposure to it was just not uncommon for me just listening to the soundtrack in my car. I saw Hamilton first. I wasn't aware of In the Heights. And then, of course, once I saw another play by the genius, I went ahead and started digging into it. But I had no idea it was, like, seeing it was much, obviously, like any other play when you see it versus listening to it. It made an impact. It was an excellent, excellent movie. What were your thoughts on it?
So my first exposure to it was, I think it was the 2006 Tony Awards. It won Best Musical. I saw the Tony performance, and just like back then I was just so, I was new to the community. So it's just like, but I think what the performance that they gave on the Tony Awards, it blew me away for sure. And I didn't jump into it right away, but once Hamilton hit and everything, like I kind of listened to the soundtrack a bit, and I think after two songs I made the decision. I've told you this before, there's a couple shows where it's just like I kind of have a general rule. I want to see it live, or I want to see, like, I want it to be a big event. Right. You know, it's another Les Mis, it's another Miss Saigon in my mind. So it's just like if I wanted to be exposed to the full product, I wanted to see it done well. Or just done big. And so the movie was a perfect opportunity for that. Before that, I had listened to the intro, 96,000, and then I had listened to the Paraguay song, just because I was interested to see what Lin-Manuel was actually taking on in his work of the film. So it's just like, you know, I think that's actually one of my small problems with it, is Lin-Manuel Miranda. But other than that, just general thoughts. What did you think of the film?
I thought it was excellent. I went in with no expectations. As mentioned, I really liked the soundtrack, but it wasn't something that I felt like I followed completely with just the soundtrack, like you can with Hamilton or whatnot, where you really get the comprehensive story. It was there's so much detail. There's so much going on. I was kind of nervous about it because Les Mis is one of my favorite Broadway plays, but one of my least favorite movie musicals. So I was just nervous that they were going to butcher it in some way, or it wasn't going to come away. And I haven't seen, full disclosure, I actually haven't seen the original play. So I think that was an interesting way to approach seeing a movie musical, because typically I have, and then I'm comparing, and this was a first time. But first time blew me away, and can't wait to see it again when it comes out. Yeah,
I think that's the other thing. Is just like neither one of us has seen the source material live. So I will say, we watched the preview a couple months ago, and I gotta be honest, I've been reading some of the chat online. Not being a fan of the original musical, not seeing the original musical as
not
it
having
was intended.
Seen it, right.
Yeah, I think that really helped with our viewing, because apparently they've cut out quite a bit, quite a few songs. I think this is a solid story. I honestly don't know how much these other songs would bring to that.
Oh, they cut full songs?
Yeah, they apparently cut 4 of them, and then there's a lot of dialogue. And I get it. Like, this is a quick. It felt it was like 2 hours,
and it felt comprehensive too. It didn't feel like I didn't understand or there was something missing. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I think it's just like sweet, perfect little, like, it checked all of its boxes.
It wraps up in a bow at the end. You feel good about it, warm and fuzzies.
And I think this cast alone is what sells this movie.
It's a great cast, for sure.
I think looking back to the prom, the only problem I have was the Hollywood side of just like bringing that in. That's a lot of movie musical, Les Mis too. And so I think having a lot of this Broadway talent, not just our main four, but a lot of like the extras, like you had told me, I didn't know the original Mimi was in it. You've got Patrick Page from Hadestown in it. You've got Anthony Ramos was from Hamilton. You got Lin-Manuel. You've got the dude who played, and I won't spoil the scene, but there's a dude that has a little bit of a altercation with Lin-Manuel Miranda's character.
Yep.
Hamilton alum as well. Not going to spoil that scene,
Hamilton
but I will
icon,
say,
right?
yeah, but I will say stay for the credits, because
Yes.
that goes somewhere that
Yes.
it was a nice little treat at the end.
Right.
And that's the thing. It's just like, this was the perfect way to open summer. Like you said, I'm probably going to be streaming this like,
Absolutely. Until HBO Max doesn't let us.
yeah, and then I'll probably buy the DVD and who knows what. But I love this movie. I honestly, if I were to decide right now, and even we've been saying on this for a couple months, this is one of my favorite movie musicals. Again, haven't seen the original portion. I'm sure that would change my mind, but I love this to death.
But I think you bring up an interesting point with the fact that it's not that they didn't use celebrity, they just used celebrity in the same medium that they're celebrities in, right? So they used Broadway celebrities, Broadway talent, which is, if I'm going to watch a musical, that to me trumps the part of it being in a movie. The singing, the talent, that needs to come first, not the star power. To your point, and I didn't really think of it that way, but you are very right. They still have the star power. It's just different kinds of stars.
Yeah, I mean, look, we were sitting there and you're just like, and
yeah,
it's just like,
absolutely.
Not gonna knock on Meryl Streep. I'm not gonna knock on Amanda Seyfried and Mamma Mia, but this is just, it's a stellar, solid cast. And even I said earlier, my biggest problem with Lin-Manuel Miranda, it's really not that big of a problem.
What is that?
So I think my biggest thing is just like kind of forcing the character in, not seeing the original portion.
Oh, you mean forcing himself, inserting himself into the movie.
Yeah, like I understand the Paraguay song is, I guess, essential to this movie. I don't know how essential it was. Yeah, I don't know how essential this is versus the other songs that were cut, but it's just like Lin-Manuel Miranda wants you to know, hey guys, I'm here, I'm gonna be here. And it's like, even at the end, like this is a little bit of a spoiler, but they're on the beach and Anthony Ramos's character, who's Nobby, is like looking around and it's members of his community, and it's just weird that Lin-Manuel Miranda's character is like right in the center, like, hey, I'm here as well. Like, it's just like, but I will say, so my biggest problem, but really not that bad of a problem, I was worried about Lin-Manuel Miranda singing the song, because that was one of the songs, like, I wanted to see what he was really taking on in his own role. And when I heard it originally, I was like, man, is Lin-Manuel going to have the chops to sing it? And he surprised me.
Did very well, yeah, I agree.
But on that note, I think, although this is a well-rounded cast and this is an amazing group of people, like everything like is perfect, Anthony Ramos' character, although he is a standout for me, I think my biggest problem with Anthony Ramos is the character he's having to portray. It's not himself. He's giving it his all. This is a Star is Born kind of like, which is funny, he's in the Star is Born. This is a Star is Born moment where it's like, he's going to blow up after this. But at the same time, I feel like if the role was written, composed for a little bit higher, a more challenging role, we probably would have seen him done more. But it felt like he was just slipping on like slippers. It was like kind of easy, you know.
But isn't that what it is, like, to make things look easy that are hard?
True.
I mean, isn't that the art?
I think that's my point. Of just like the way Lin-Manuel Miranda kind of put himself into this show as he did with Hamilton is not a bad thing. You know, you can do whatever you want with our own show. We write our own show. We better be in it. I don't care if we're our show's version of the PR guy. I'm probably butchered that every single time, but it's like, I think my biggest problem with Anthony Ramos' character is just like the way it's written. It's not his fault, but then again, he uses every single moment on that screen, just like the main four. All four of them are just stellar. It's a well-rounded cast.
And even that the opening song and shot, just the cinematography that's going on, like, he knows what he's doing for sure. You know, it's just awesome. I thought that's what you never know. Like, how are they going to tell the story? How is this going to go to the silver screen, if you will, or whatever? Yeah. Like, how are they going to make that happen? And I thought it was flawlessly executed in terms of that, for sure.
I think John Chu's portion of what he brought to this is just, I think a lot of that.
I hope he makes a lot more musicals, to be honest, after seeing those.
I was kind of worried because, like, I love Crazy Rich Asians. I think it's a splendid film. I was like, a musical? It's kind of, we'll see what he does. And it's just like, in my mind, he hit it out of the park, just like you said.
It's not too late to remake Les Mis the musical. Okay?
Hey,
really not.
If we're doing West Side Story, why not? Like, let's just
Right.
remake all and Cats. Let's do Cats again.
I
Christianity
think Cats
Kids.
maybe has it's expired. It's hit its shelf life, I think.
I think that's what caused the pandemic. If you think about it, the Cats came
It was
out,
the first
pandemic
domino.
started.
Yep. I'm not. Yep. That's had to be what it was. You're right.
Every 10 years will cause a new pandemic by having another version of Cats. But yeah, I think another portion I loved about this movie, my favorite song is the one that the abuela sings right before I'm trying to not spoil this scene, but there's a pretty traumatic portion in this movie, and the song that she sings previous to that, probably my favorite part of this film. I didn't know till we had watched it that she was actually part of the original production. She played the original abuela, but I love that song so much, not only because I think it's heartbreaking, it's just it was amazing cinematography, but there's the little details.
Oh, you're talking about like with the train and all that. Oh my goodness, yes. Watch
trains.
it. The details of
So the thing I hate about most movies, and this isn't just movie musicals, this is like the most recent film I had watched a couple weeks ago was Dark Shadows, and there was a scene that opens the movie and they're taking an Amtrak train, but the movie takes place in the 70s, but yet they're using a train from today, and it's little things like that annoy me. John Chu's portion of this was like, let's not only go back in time, let's change everything around
Let's
it.
respect the
scenery.
time.
Yeah. So it's like she gets on this train and it changes back to when she was a little girl, and it's just like, it's the little things that I really appreciate in this movie.
A lot of attention to detail.
Yeah, and I think it's just like little things like that. It didn't annoy me when I was watching it, so I really felt in tune with that song. I think that really like spoke to me in a sense. But yeah, it's just amazing.
So I think there you have it. I mean, we highly recommend going to see In the Heights for sure.
Go see
June
this movie.
11th. June 11th, HBO Max. Is it coming to theaters?
Yes, it's going to be in theaters the exact same day.
There you go.
HBO is doing this with all their films. Go see this more than Space Jam 2. Don't let Space Jam 2 make a profit. Let this movie... I think it's just... My point was just like, we are in the best time right now where the movie musical is back. Like we think La La Land, we think Hamilton, we're getting so many pro shots because of that. I think it's the perfect time to be a movie fan or musical fan, a movie musical fan, and this is just not only the perfect way to break open summer, but just we're in another golden age, and I can only hope this year alone. We got Dear Evan Hansen, and everybody's talking about Jamie coming out in September. We've got the new West Side Story coming out in December, and there are a couple other projects. Oh, did I say Dear Evan Hansen?
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
But yeah, it's a great time to be a theater kid. But yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, what would you rate it? Like probably.
If it's at, are we talking 5?
Let's do
1 out of
5. Yeah,
Okay.
first review 5.
I would say 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I say 5 as well. Knock out of the park.
Best days of my life. And I built my little dream, my sueñitos. Here. In Washington Heights.
Like the street lights, we taking the flight to a couple of days in the life for what it's like in Washington Heights.
But yeah, like Stephanie said, go see this in theaters. Watch on HBO Max. Give them your money because they deserve it.
Yes,
and,
it's very good. You won't be disappointed.
Oh yeah, and yeah, guys, see y'all later.
All right. Bye.